Final Fantasy 16 has been shrouded in secrecy pretty much since it was announced, but at the recent Tokyo Game Show, we got a little bit more insight to how the combat system's gonna work. Now, during this interview with Final Fantasy creator Sakaguchi, it was mentioned that a lot of inspiration is coming from Final Fantasy 14, in a sense that they want to make the player's protagonist feel more personalized to them. That's where in this interview came up a skill tree. Now, they mentioned the skill tree system is gonna expand out similar to Fantasion. I believe this was a mobile game, and the way that their skill trees worked is that one character has a skill tree and you can spec them and kind of build them however you want to make that character more unique to you, and then each character that is in your party has a separate skill tree. Now, a way that this can be implemented in Final Fantasy 16 is with our main character Clive. We see him use different icon abilities. Now, for those of you who don't know yet, icons are pretty much the summons of the Final Fantasy universe, and they're housed in a human, which is called a dominant. Clive's little brother Joshua is the dominant of the Phoenix icon pre-time skip, and we can see Joshua bestow the Phoenix abilities on Clive, and if you pay really close attention in the trailer, you can see him use the Phoenix's ability as well as a few other icons. Now, I'm not sure how he gets those other icon abilities, but it would make sense to have that incorporated in the skill tree, and you can branch out and use whichever element icon you want to use the most in your character to provide some type of personalization. So if you're a really big fan of the Phoenix, you can use that icon as much as you want and spec all of your skills into that. Obviously, there'll probably be some kind of little nuances for, quick dodge, follow-up attacks, and like just the basic stuff you see in skill trees. But I feel like for the more advanced personalized things, it makes sense to go with the icon abilities. Now, that is just for Clive. We haven't got much information on if we're going to be playing with the party. All we've seen is Clive fighting. We haven't seen any party members. So now a way that they can do party members, if we do decide to have those, is that every party member can play every class if we're pulling from Final Fantasy 15. So we can have someone play a tank, healer, blah, 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 specialize in magic, but have starting stats that will kind of help you decide who decides to play what. So if you don't want to get crazy unique, the person with the highest defense obviously can play a more tankier class, but that's going under the assumption that we have those characters. And now it would be pretty cool to see us be able to give those icon abilities to our party members as well. So it's not just Clive who can have them, but we don't really know yet if there's something special about Clive that allows him to harness these icon abilities that other characters wouldn't be. And the last thing I have is that with the skill tree system, we should be able to respec. Now, I do think this should be costly, but I do think it should be an option, so that way you can try and experiment with different things and not be 100% locked in, but also have it have some type of cost value to it, so that way when you respec, you're doing it with the purpose. But that's going to be kind of my initial thoughts on how the skill tree could work in Final Fantasy 16.